Have you ever looked up at the sky and wondered, what would it actually feel like to touch a cloud? Welcome to Beyond Curious Zone. In this explainer, we're going to uncover the hidden science behind everyday wonders. And today, well, we're looking at a daily spectacle that completely defies our senses. I mean, just picture it. You step outside on a bright, sunny afternoon, and you see those giant, magnificent white shapes drifting by up there. What would actually happen if you reached out to grab one? Would it be soft like cotton? You know, that's exactly what our brains tell us when we're kids. We look up, we see these giant, pulled-apart cotton balls, and we just imagine our hands sinking right into something incredibly plush. Or maybe they're even more solid than that. Like, could you actually step out of an airplane and just bounce on one? Well, the answer is far more surprising, and honestly way more fascinating than you might think. Okay, let's dive into this. Part 1. What are clouds exactly? The true anatomy of a cloud. So here is where our eyes really start to play tricks on us. We expect clouds to be thick, fluffy, solid objects, right? But the scientific reality is that they're actually composed of billions of tiny, floating particles. Yeah, a cloud is really just a mass made of billions of tiny water droplets or ice crystals suspended right there in the air. That's it, just floating water and ice. And the sheer scale of this is just mind-blowing. Each individual droplet inside that cloud is incredibly small. We're talking about 100 times thinner than a single human hair. So you might be wondering, why do they look like massive, glowing white solids? Well, it's all about the light. When these microscopic droplets group together, they basically act as tiny prisms. They scatter sunlight in every direction, which creates that bright white illusion. So the crucial point is coming up in part 2, why clouds aren't solid. The physical reality. We kind of have to shatter the childhood illusion right here. A cloud is not a solid object. Because it's entirely made of those microscopic droplets we just talked about, it behaves exactly like a floating mist. From the outside, it definitely looks like a fluffy barrier. But if you were to somehow fly directly into one, you wouldn't feel anything soft at all. You would just feel cool, damped air on your skin, and you'd immediately notice your visibility drop to near zero. Just think about commercial airplanes for a second. When they fly through those fluffy cumulus clouds, they don't crash into a wall. They simply pass harmlessly right through millions of tiny water droplets. The plane just parts the mist, kind of like how your hand parts the steam from a hot shower. Which brings us to part 3, walking through a cloud. Have you already been inside one? Believe it or not, the answer is probably yes. Fog is simply a cloud that forms at ground level. It's the exact same scientific phenomenon happening high up in the sky, just happening right here on the ground with us. Which means, if you've ever stood on a foggy mountain or even just driven through a dense patch of morning mist, you have already experienced this firsthand. You, my friend, have literally been inside a cloud. So, while you absolutely cannot grab a cloud or stand on one, you can walk right through one. The mist just parts right around you. And that leads perfectly into part 4, nature's amazing illusion, the truth up in the sky. The next time you step outside and look up, I really want you to remember this explainer. Those beautiful, majestic white shapes drifting overhead, yeah, they aren't giant cotton balls. They're actually a brilliant optical trick played by light and water. So, just to recap what we've learned, clouds are entirely made of tiny floating water droplets and ice crystals. Because of this, they are just a floating mist, completely lacking any real solidity. They truly represent one of nature's most amazing visual illusions. You can never touch them simply because there is no solid them to touch. It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? If something as massive and obvious as a cloud is actually just a brilliant trick of the light, what other giant illusions is nature hiding in plain sight? Keep your eyes open, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next explainer.